Instructor today. Okay, my name is Kesley Anderson. I will be your Cricut instructor today, and I have Anita on the back end to answer any of your Cricut questions. And then we have Maria. If you have any technical questions with Zoom, she can help you out with that. We are going to be making wine bags for the Hostess with the Mostest. Now, the intent is to bring such a great Hostess gift that you get invited back every time. The wine bags are super easy to use. Cricut makes and sells wine bags at Michael's. They are perfect to work with any type of iron-on material. They work great with the Cricut Infusible Ink transfer sheets, which I'm going to show you a demonstration of that today, as well as the Cricut, all the Cricut iron-on vinyl. So we'll have some fun with that. I would invite you to work along with me. This class is being recorded, so if you want to just sit back and watch and take it all in, you'll get the recording after the class, and you can watch and stop as you go along and work at your own pace. I do have 4 different types of wine bag examples I'm going to show you today, but we're going to make one together in Design Space, and it's a really fun one, and we'll be moving around a bit today, which is unusual. We just tried something, so I'm super excited to show it to you. So why don't we go ahead and get started? I will share my screen with you. Now, if you have questions along the way today, we recommend you use the Q&A section, which is at the bottom of your Zoom screen. And that way we can see the questions and answer you directly through the Q&A chat. And it just kind of keeps everything a little bit more organized. So I'd love to hear if anybody wants to drop in where you're from. I'm from the Northern Virginia area, right about 30 minutes outside of Washington, D.C. So sometimes I say I'm from D.C., sometimes it's Northern Virginia, but we are having a rainy day, perfect for a good crafternoon. So what I'm going to do is I'll share my screen with you and I'll pull up my Design Space. And if you want to craft along with me, I invite you to do that. So first, let me go ahead and share my Design Space. Now, I do have a project open I was working on, so let me just cancel out of this real quick. Yes, I'm going to cancel all my cuts. And I'm just going to save my project so I have it saved so I can refer back to it. Okay, now the first thing you're going to do when you come into Design Space is you're going to go ahead and give yourself, when you first come in, you'll come into the Cricut home screen. And this is what the home screen looks like. From here, we're going to go ahead and enter a new project. So right up here at the top, you're going to click on a new project. Now, because we are in October, things are getting a little bit more fall. I thought our first bag would be fun to make with a Halloween theme. In fact, I think 3 of our 4 bags are Halloween themed. And then I'm going to show you how to make a 5th bag for a customization for your family bag to gift. So let's find our first image. We're going to go to the images icon here on the left. Now, I am working on my desktop. So if you're working from your desktop or your laptop, your Design Space will look like mine does. If you're joining me and working on an iPad or a other mobile device, your insert panel here on the left will actually be along the bottom. And to find your hot air balloon here for images, it's going to be in the bottom left side. So you want to click on Images. And we're going to, I've made a couple images free today. So let's go ahead and click on Browse All Images, and then type in the keyword wine, W-I-N-E, not W-H-I-N-E, but W-I-N-E, and find a free images here. Let's see. So the one we're looking for, oops, where's the one I want to use? Let me go back and find the image I want to use. It's a Halloween one, so maybe I'm just looking it up wrong. Let me grab it. I've got it cut out here. Oh, it's Halloween is what it says. Happy Halloween. So let's just type that in and to search in all images. Happy Halloween. Let's pull that image up. Here we go. So this is the image today we're going to work with, Happy Hallow Wine. So when you click on that image, it will make it available onto your canvas. So down at the bottom left of your screen, you'll see the item in a little small circle there, and we can add that to canvas. So go ahead and add to canvas. So we've got this little bat with Happy Hallow Wine. So you're going to put that on your canvas. Now, what we're going to do with this image is we're going to cut it out of black iron-on material. So you can use a glitter black, you can use a plain black, you can really use any color that you want. If you're just using one layer of vinyl, you want to go ahead and we're only going to work with one layer. If you want to do 2 layers, now I'm going to do 2 layers and use Cricut's new iron-on glow-in-the-dark material for mine. So what we're going to do is first resize the image. Now, how do I know what size to make my image? So I took a wine bag, one of Cricut's wine bags, and I put a bottle of wine in it, because if you have it on your workstation flat, and you measure the space you have to work with, you won't take account for how the bag opens when you insert a wine or whatever you're gifting in there. I made a cute one of these with a sunscreen label for the beach this summer. So once I put my wine in there, you can see the bottom takes up about 1.5 inches from the bottom there. So we want to measure with our bottle of wine in the bag, how tall you want your design to be. So I would say about 1 inch up from the bottom is where you want to start your design, and about where your wine bottle starts to curve in. So if I measure from my top of my wine neck, or the bottom of the wine neck, down, that is going to be about 6 inches for my size. So go ahead and go back to our canvas here, and we're going to make the image 6 inches in height. So you can change the height or the width. Actually, look at that, it already is at 6 inches. You can change your height or your width of your design by going up to the edit bar at the top here, and we're actually just going to change it to make it a perfect 6 inches height. Now our proportion is locked, so we're going to keep the same width as the height, and it'll just bump out like that. Now, because I am using the glow-in-the-dark vinyl, I want to do an offset behind the image I've got on my canvas right now. So if you want to watch how I add the offset to the design, have your eyes on your Zoom window so you can see how I do that. And then we'll go back and do it together. So I select the image, and I know I've got it selected because my 4-corner box appears around the image, and the image in the layers panel is selected. Now, with that image selected, I can go to my edit bar, and if you're on an iPad, look at the bottom in the middle and click on the edit icon, and that's where this offset action is. So when you add an offset to an image, it's going to add a completely new layer on your canvas, and it will basically outline your image that you've selected. So I can make this either a little bit bigger if I wanted to. I go really big like that, or I could just kind of keep it smaller. It defaults to a 0.25 setting. So anytime you start with your offset, it will default to a 0.25, which is about 1/4 inch. You can go a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. It's all up to you. I'm going to go up to a 0.35 and eliminate these little pieces in the middle. I bet I could go a little bit smaller now. Let's do 0.3. So I still have a little bit of pieces in the middle. So let's go back to 0.35. Okay. Then once you've got your offset, the amount that you want it, you would click apply. And that adds the offset to my layers panel. So now I have my original image and the offset layer. So my original image, I'm going to do that with that glow in the dark iron-on material. So it's going to appear like this, but I want to make it show up. The iron-on material is like a whitish color. I'll show you in the overhead. It's kind of like a whitish color, and on the white bag, it might not show up as well as I'd like it to. So I'm going to go ahead and add that black outline to it. Now, if you wanted to just do 2 layers and you wanted to have your outline a little bit smaller, you would then go back with your offset and add your outline. Maybe you just want, I don't know, a 0.5, a little bit smaller like that to make it pop off. I'm going to go for a little bit bigger. So it's totally up to you what you'd like. Okay. Now, once you have, and I'll go ahead and delete this layer for mine. Okay, so does anybody need me? If you need me to run back through how I got to this step, or if you have any questions, please do drop them in the Q&A. If you're crafting along with me today, I don't want anybody to get frustrated or get lost in the process. Please run back through the offset. I'd be happy to. So let's just go back here. So this is how my image came into my canvas. It just was Happy Halloween. So what I wanted to do was add that outline around the image. And because I'm using that iron-on glow in the dark, I wanted to go a little bit bigger. So it's totally up to you how much of an offset you want to do. So you're going to go up to the edit bar with your image selected. You're going to go to the edit bar and you're going to select the offset drop-down menu. So we're just going to select the offset drop-down menu. And then you see this little blue line. Let me zoom in on my canvas here a little bit for you, so you can kind of see that in action. You see that blue, that very small blue line around the image that appears when I click on the offset? That blue outline there is where the offset's going to go. So you can use the slider bar and go bigger or go smaller. Like you could do an inset on your design and go inside your design. So it's really up to you how big you want your offset to be. My general rule of thumb, if I'm working on like a paper project, I usually do about 0.05 in my offset. Once you have your offset to the dimension you want it to around your image, how wide or how narrow you want it, you just click apply. And then you have that second layer, which is created. So now I have my original image, which is the black, and then I have my offset image, which is the gray. So it's, and you can just put it back on top of each other. I'm going to be cutting it out of 2 different pieces of iron-on. So I'm not worried about lining it up or anything like that. And if you wanted to, you could actually, let's just go turn this guy back to yellow. If you wanted to make an outline, you would position your 2 layers together again. So let's just align those to the center. So I've got it repositioned. Then I could always slice. So if I didn't want to put my one piece of vinyl like directly on top of the other vinyl, I could slice out the inside like that. And then when I iron my vinyl on, I'd have to really make sure that I get that right. The lineup of it is exactly where I want it to be. Okay. So I hope that helps Polly answer how to do that. I'm going to go ahead and delete this layer because I just need the Happy Halloween and my offset layer here. Now I could do, if I wanted to, I could do like a black Infusible Ink transfer sheet for the Happy Halloween, or, you know, I could do, you could do anything. I could do glitter. I could do anything I want on there. Why are the 2 offsets different? One large and one more an outline. So on my offsets, what I did was I sliced. So let me step back a few steps here. Oh, why is this more of an outline? It's just the dimension of the how wide I did my offset. Like if I just wanted a really thin outline on my offset, I could do that by having, let me just show you that. If I really wanted just a thin one, you just would change your offset dimension here, like 1/4 of an inch or so. Then that's really super thin. And when I take away my top layer, you can see the difference. So you get the different, the width of your offset depending on how big you make that offset. I'm making mine really big today so that I can put my my glow iron on right in there. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm ready to make it. So I'm going to go ahead and send this to my machine to cut. Now, when you're cutting iron-on, you want to make sure that you mirror your layers. And what that does is it flips them around because we're actually cutting on the back of the material. So we need to flip your image so that it's mirrored and it cuts on the back of the material. So to do that, you just want to make sure that where it says mirror, it's turned to yes. So on both of these, I want the mirror turned to yes. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out my black layer. Now I already have my iron-on layer cut. So actually I'll probably cut them both. So let me go ahead and cut the black layer first, and then we'll cut our iron-on layer, our glow-in-the-dark layer, I'm sorry. So let me go ahead and say continue. Then this is where you'll select your material. So my black layer here will actually just be smart iron-on material. So I'm just going to go smart iron-on, and it tells me to use my fine point blade, and I'm ready to cut it. So my light is flashing. So let's flip over, and we'll do the overhead camera here. So let me just go ahead and flip. All right. So now from here, I've already got a piece of my smart iron-on cut out that I can just put right on my mat. Now, if I were using my whole roll of iron-on, I could just load my smart iron-on right into my Maker 3 without having to put it on a mat. But the great thing about the smart iron-on is it really works on all of the different machines. It just depends if you need to have a mat or not. And I just want to make sure I've got this big enough. Okay, we're good. All right, so let's go ahead and line this up. And we'll put that right in there and let that start cutting. Now, while that's cutting, I'm going to go ahead and take my Easy Press here, and we'll go ahead and get that plugged in so I can get started to heat. Now, I am using an Easy Press 3, which is so fun because it works with, it will work with my Bluetooth on my phone to get my settings. Okay, so let me see, I just gotta get my little space here. I usually have my iron-on next to me. Okay, here we go. So that's the first one all set. There's my outline. Now I'm just going to cut out my iron-on as well. So the fun thing at the iron-on is it comes in a tube, and you can see how it's going to glow. And we're going to run into a bathroom so I can show you exactly how it's going to glow out. Anita, do you mind letting Holly know, saying when you have a chance answer on my tablet, when I click and edit, offset doesn't come up. Is it, if it's not under edit, I think it's under actions, but Anita's going to let you know exactly where that is. And I'm just going to go back in. Now, what I need to do is go back in to Design Space, and I'm going to change the material here on the wording. And this material is going to be the glow in the dark. So I just type in glow, and I get glow in the dark iron-on, and that's the material I'll be using. So it already has all of the settings. I don't have to worry about any of my settings or anything to make sure that it cuts perfectly for me. Cricut has done all that math already. Thank you, Cricut. Right? We don't have to worry about pressure or anything. It all comes right exactly how you want it to cut. So we're just going to cut this down into about a 4-inch piece. And you can see what I mean about it kind of being a white color. So if I were just to put this on my wine bag here, it would be a little bit difficult to see. But putting it on with putting it on with the black background is really going to help. Now, when I talked about mirroring, I apologize, I didn't go back and explain why we mirror our material. Sorry, am I sharing my screen? Okay. We mirror, so your iron-on material will have a shiny side. The shiny side is actually the carrier. And so it's a clear piece that will hold all of your iron-on pieces together before you put it onto your blank, whatever your blank is going to be. So you want to put your iron-on material on your mat with the shiny side down. See, so we cut into the back side of the material because that's actually where the material is. And I'm just weeding this now so you can see that the clear shiny part is a mat that holds everything together. So when you put your material down on your mat, you want this matte side, matte as in M-A-T-T-E, you want this side facing up and you want the shiny side facing down on your cutting mat here. So this is my shiny side on my glow in the dark. This is the matte side, and I want the matte side facing down. I want the matte side facing up and the shiny side down because we actually want to cut into the back of the material. So we're just going to cut right into the back of the material. And I'm just going to put that right in there. And we'll go ahead and cut that out, and then we'll weed that design in. Sorry, I just got to plug in my Easy Press here. We'll get that started to heat up a little bit. All right. So my Easy Press is on, and I was saying the Easy Press, you can use your phone, the heat guide on your phone. Let me go here. So let's go over this way. And I can do the Cricut heat guide here. Turn my light down. When you go on here, if you have an Easy Press 3 and you've installed it, it'll show up right here, and you can select your Easy Press to heat up right from here. If not, like sometimes you're not by your computer and you're working, you can just open up the heat guide on the app, and then you select which machine you're using and your material and your blank material and your iron-on material, and then it will give you all your settings. So I'll be using the Cricut heat, the Easy Press 3, and I'll use the Easy Press guide. So it works with Bluetooth. So my app will speak directly to my Easy Press machine. So I'm going to start a new project, and I'll be using first every day. Well, I'll be using Smart Iron-On will be my first material because that's my base. And then I just scroll down to the Cricut blanks, and I'm using a wine bag here at the bottom. So now when I send that information to my machine, it will automatically, let me just show you here if I can show it. I want to show you how it will change the settings on my Easy Press automatically. So I don't even have to think about it. And then when it's ready, it will walk me through the process. So let me grab my Easy Press here, and it's already in its cradle, so I don't have to worry about getting any heat on anything. So I just send settings to Easy Press, and then right here, it's going to start changing the temperature, and it tells me how long it will take to get it to the right temperature that I need. I'm just going to set this back down here, and I need to, my next step will be to weed out my iron-on. So I've got my iron-on here, and it's all cut out for me. So I'm just going to weed this out. So again, I keep dropping my weeding tool. This is not usually, I don't usually use this as my weeding tool, but I keep dropping it. Now, when you're weeding with iron-on material, and it doesn't matter if it's glow in the dark or anything, you do want to make sure that you don't tear it as you weed it. So I like to kind of work from the corners to the inside. And if you get too big a piece of material, it's totally okay to cut it down a little bit so it's a little bit easier to handle. But you do want to be gentle with it and kind of just walk it off your design like this. And you just work your way from the outside towards the inside and just keep working your way around. One thing when I'm weeding, I want to make sure that I don't lose, an eye or something. So there's the dot on my eye. I want to make sure that that stays alive. And we can just go from there. So we'll just go. Doot, doot. Okay, so there we have there. And then I just am going to go in and take out these little pieces that cut out the center pieces here. So we're just going to weed those pieces out next. And you just do that across the whole design. You just pull out all those pieces. Now, if you have a lot of social functions, you're going to, in October, you can make a bunch of these bags and have them ready. Or, this is a fun gift for a teacher or or let's see, teachers, girlfriends, anything like that is really fun. Okay. So once I've got that all weeded out, now when I turn it over and that shiny side is back, it's no longer mirrored. It looks right side. But when I had it like that, it definitely looks, you can tell the mirror where it was mirrored. Okay, so let's grab our easy press. Make sure I don't have anything on the back of that. And first I'm going to apply firm pressure for 5 seconds and heat up my material. Now my easy press is all set to go. So once I put it on, it's going to heat it up for 5 seconds. Okay, now I'm just going to pop that off. And then I'm going to get my material positioned up. So I just need to make sure I have it going the right way. So this is the top. And we're just going to put that down. Now remember, the bottom of the bag, you have that bit where the wine, where it flattens out. So you can either measure that or just use a good 2 inches rule of thumb. So you'll go up a little bit. You might even go 2.5 inches. So let's put it 2.5 inches from the bottom. And we'll just put that right in the middle of our design at 2.5 inches, about 2.5 inches up. So I just fold it in half to find about the middle. And we're just going to go like that. 3 inches across is the middle. So we'll just line that right up on this 3 inches like that. Okay, now this is my first layer. So I just need to kind of tack it down. It does say to do it for 30 seconds, but I'm not going to do it for the full 30 seconds because I just want to tack it down. I don't want to have it down there too long to go. So we're just going to do it for about 15 seconds, 20 seconds. We'll do it. And you can use your home iron for this. If you use your home iron for heat presses, just make sure that you have it on a really high setting. So it's like usually your linen setting, and you want to make sure that you have it without any steam. So you want no steam in your press. Okay, now I'm going to set that one aside and let it cool. And I'm going to show you another type of material I'm using here. So this bag is going up and down. I made one to go sideways. And now these two images should also be complementary in design space for you to use the Let's Toast and the Witch. Now I did use this espresso foil material. There's a fun green foil material that would be great to work with it. And then I also thought like the gold everyday iron-on would be fun with this design as well. So let's see how that differs when we want to heat with that. So I'm going to go back to my settings here and I'll start a new project. This time I'm using foil iron-on. So I'll select foil iron-on and I'm using the wine bag. And I'm going to use my Cricut press. And let's see, so then it'll tell me to change my settings. Let's see. So it's almost there. I think it's going to be like 315. So it's going to get a little bit warmer than it was before. And I'll do the same process. I will heat it up. Now this is only a single layer. So it'll just be for 5 seconds. I will heat it up and then I'll press it and flip it over and do it again. So if anybody has any questions, when I'm working with 2 different designs like this, I did attach the 2 designs together. So it's the same material that I cut it out with, and I wanted to make sure that they stayed together. And if you're working on this design with me, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask and let me know. So we're at 306. We only have it. You'll see how quickly it goes. Those last 10 degrees will go really fast. Let's go ahead and get this ironed out here for 5 seconds. It's okay if it's a little bit smaller, a little bit shorter. Okay. So the fun thing that I always think about with Cricut is using different types of materials that they offer, and something like this really is a fun way to use the different, so I'm just measuring 3 inches and then about over there. So I go to about where the middle is. This is like a small little item that you can use, try something new on, it's not like a big t-shirt or a big, huge project. It's just something small. So if you haven't used like the foil material, this is a fun way to do it. Okay, so now I'm just going to put that on for 30 seconds. Now you'll notice I do have the strings outside of the bag, and that's so that I get a nice even press on the easy press with the wine bag underneath it. I don't want to have it too heavy, like I don't want to have that thickness underneath it, and so that it doesn't have the straight down on it. I'm not saying that right. Hopefully you guys get the gist. The cool thing about the easy press machines is that they are designed to push the heat across the entire face of the plate. So unlike an iron where you might get hotter on the outside or hotter on the inside of the iron, the easy press heat goes across the entire face of the plate. It also has an automatic turn off, which I love that. Okay, so now I'm gonna let that one cool. This one has cooled down, so we're able to peel off the transfer tape here. Now, because we just did a light press, if it doesn't hold down everywhere, I'm not worried about it because I'm going to press it again. But I'm going to pull it at like 45-degree angles from side to side. We're just going to bring it right off. And I can see that it did not iron down on the edges, and that's perfectly okay with me because I'm going to be putting another layer on top of it. So this guy is going to go on top of it. Sorry, wrong one. And now once I put all the pressure and heat for this layer, it will certainly hold down and tack down the whole thing. So look at that, isn't that cute? Now, again, if I had just used the iron-on material when I brought it to the party, you might not see the design on it until it got to be late in the evening. Okay, now one other little trick is because I'm using one color on one layer on top of another layer, I do have some of my iron-on is peeking out from the edge. So I'm going to use this Teflon sheet to protect my easy press from pressing directly on the iron-on material. So let's go back over here and we're going to start again. And we'll be using glow in the dark iron-on right there. And then I'm going to be putting it on the wine bag. So you still use the same type of blank material that you were using. Now it's going to have to cool down to 305 or cool up to 305 because for this one, it was at 315. And this one is ready to go. So let me just, while that temperature changes, we can peel this off. Now, when you do use the foil, I really want to make sure that my design has completely cooled, because if you pull it before it's completely cooled, it can wrinkle the iron. But look at how cool is that? Isn't that beautiful? This would be fun to do like little snacks in too with the Let's Toast. Okay, so now I'm ready, 305 degrees. So we're just going to bring that over and oh, this is just the pressing it to get it preheated. I can do. Okay, so now we're just going to do 30 seconds with a firm hold. And I just want to peek and make sure that I'm underneath all of it. I've got it all set. All right, here we go. It goes so quickly. Okay, so then I can turn it over and press on the back. This one doesn't say that. So now we're just going to set this one aside and let it cool. And while that is cooling, I want to show you one other material. Now, this material is Infusible Ink. And I just grabbed a black Infusible Ink. So you can see the color. This is the color it's going to turn out. It's going to be black. But before it comes out of the packaging, the color is a light color. So it's this grayish, it kind of looks washed out. You work with it the same way as your vinyl. So you're going to mirror your image and turn it inside out. The difference comes when you're weeding it. And I have an extra one here to just kind of show you how it weeds differently than your vinyl, like where the vinyl sort of sticks onto your transfer paper, the Infusible Ink material really comes off differently. So the first thing you're going to do is give it like a little crack and roll like this. So you're going to roll it both ways. And this kind of helps separate out where you've cut versus where you haven't cut. And then you're just going to take off. So you're weeding it the same way. You're taking out the outside pieces that you don't need, but you see how it weeds differently. It's a different material. So it's a paper material and it's got the Infusible Ink is in the paper. So see how it tears like that? It's okay if any of that white paper is left on your design, that's perfectly okay. The design will still come through. Now for these little pieces here, I do like to usually have my weeding hook and hold those down as I take them off because I don't want to tear the actual design itself. So again, working in the same technique, working your way from the outside in, and you just kind of peel it off and you're left with the other paper. And that's where your design is. So see how differently that peels? That weeds, I guess it's called weeding, not peeling, right, Anita? Here we go.
Yes, it is.
So it just comes right off and you just work it off the whole way.
The hardest thing is keeping the small pieces on the carrier sheet.
Yes.
When you go to move it or if you're popping it at all.
Yep. And that's where like it's good to like just you can tear it where where you're weeding it so that if you have to get your finger on there, you can hold it down. But that's a good point. So we're just going to walk it off the whole way. Same technique as the other one. And again, that white paper that's left behind, you don't have to worry about that as long as it doesn't have, as long as you don't leave anything behind with the color on it, then that color will transfer when it's heated up. Now, the difference between Infusible Ink and your iron-on is the color actually transfers from this ink, this sheet. It will transfer onto this bag. Now, how come I can use this bag and not other bags? This bag, the Cricut wine bags, are specifically designed to accept the Infusible Ink. So when you look for items that work with Infusible Ink, you're going to want, can you see that? I think there's a little bit of shine there. Let's go like this. You're going to be looking for this Infusible Ink logo, and that lets you know that it's going to work with the Infusible Ink sheets. So let's start a new project. And I'm going to use my transfer material is Infusible Ink transfer sheet. So it's at the bottom there. and then I'm using a wine bag. Now it does tell you at the bottom, it warns you that you want to make sure you're using a compatible blank, which I've got here. So I've got the Infusible Ink transfer sheet, the wine bag, and the pressing mat. Now it does say that you want to make sure you're using the pressing pad at the bottom of it. A couple other things when you're working with Infusible Ink transfer sheets, you want to make sure you use a, what are these things called? I'm losing my words today. This is use it to take dust and dog hair off of clothes. Lint roller. You use your lint roller and you want to remove any lint that's on the surface, because the lint can get between your ink and your blank, and then it kind of blocks the ink from transferring onto your blank. So you want to make sure you've got a clean surface you're working with, and I usually recommend to clean your hands. Now I'm going to put a piece of butcher paper inside my bag so that no color will transfer through my bag onto the back side. So I'm just going to put that in there. And then we're also going to put a piece of butcher paper on top of the design once we have it down. So we're going to heat up our easy press. Now with Infusible Ink, you don't want to use Infusible Ink with a home iron because you have to get it at such a high temperature. So if you notice, this told me it had to get at 365 degrees to transfer the color. So we want to make sure that we have it at the highest setting and we're able to press it down. So I've got it positioned, it's turned around, and I do need to, let's see, we're gonna have to preheat. So while my easy press is heating up, I'm ready to pull this off and show you all how fantastic this is. Now, before the end of the class, we're going to run into a dark room and you can see this light right up. So we'll just leave it there for a second while this heats up for me. So we're going to go ahead and do the 15 seconds here to get my blank really heated up. And you notice that I do it a little bit longer because you're working at such a high temperature. So this preheat was 15 seconds versus my other preheat was just 5 seconds. So same blank, just different preheat on there. Okay, so let me get my ruler back. Put my ruler back in so I kind of get an idea of where the middle is. Let's go right there. Okay. And then I'm just going to put this down. Now, this is another one where I combine two images. So the wine bottles at the top is a different image than this one. Now, if you want to make sure that your image doesn't slide around, because you are transferring the, you're transferring the chemicals from the sheet onto your blank, you want to make sure that your blank, you want to make sure that the blank and the transfer sheet don't wiggle around on you, because that would give you what I call ghosting. So you want to make sure that it's in the same place. This is Cricut's heat tape, so you can use this on a heated system. It's not like you can just use regular Scotch tape. You want to make sure you have tape specifically for heat. Okay, so now we're just going to put this over. Now this takes 60 seconds with firm application, and I want to make sure that my strings are out again, and I'm just going to push on it firm. Now, oops, guess what I forgot? My butcher paper. Now, normally I love to do my my Infusible Ink on my big auto press, because that just sucks it down and puts all the pressure on it. So when you're using, if you are using any type of home iron for like your iron on vinyl, not your Infusible Ink, I recommend doing it on a kitchen counter where, one, you can push if you need to use the extra pressure, but two, your ironing board has holes in the middle, which sends heat out. These a terry cloth towel or the easy press mat retains the heat. So you're really getting like a flow of heat from the bottom to the top. And I'm just going to hold this for a couple extra seconds because of my butcher paper fiasco there. Okay, so here we go. Now this, it really does get hot because you're working at such a high temperature. So you want to give it a chance to cool off, but you're going to be able to see how the sheet went from this color to a dark color. And I'm never very patient with this. So let's just see if we can use a tool and take it off. Here we go. You can get gloves to work. There we go. Look at that. So you see how dark that came out? Isn't that fantastic? I love it. I wish I know you guys are at home going, ooh, that looks so great. But I love how that turns out. And then when you slip your bottle of wine into it, definitely want to let your bag chill before doing that. Now let's just take out our butcher paper in the middle here. But you can add your name. So if you're taking this as a gift, consider adding your name onto the bag, or a tag, make a tag with your name on it, because if you put your name on it, they can't reuse it. But if you put a tag on it, then they can reuse it. But I don't know, it's kind of fun to have. So now put that in there. Look at that. Isn't that cute? I love it. Okay, and then we have our Happy Halloween here. And I do have one more to share with you, one more assembly of some wine to share with you. Some wine bags. So why don't I do one last one for the Halloween theme? And if this is for if you are headed out for a girls' night out or something. And for this one, I used Cricut's glitter iron-on, and I'm going to layer. So I have this really fun fluorescent orange iron-on, and then just the black iron-on. So first, what we're going to do is we'll do the orange layer, and then we'll add the black layer on top of that. So again, I just need to go to my settings. I start a new project, and we're just going to choose glitter iron-on. And my blank is a wine bag. So it's going to send the settings 330 degrees to my machine. So it's got to cool down a little bit. It's at 385. Maybe this is a good time to run to the dark closet. What do you guys think? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my, let's see. Let me share my, my phone here. And we're going to do something I've never done before. I'm going to run you guys to my bathroom, which has no light in it. We have no window, so you'll be able to see this glow in the dark. Okay, let me just switch that over. So give me just 1 second. I've got to connect my camera here. Okay. All right, so here we are. Let's take our wine bag. Well, my easy press is cooling down. We're going to take this and we're going to put it in the dark. You can already see it's kind of getting a little bit glowy. Is it reversed? I'll probably have to reverse the camera. I made another little drink thing that you could do and put some mixed drinks in little what are those little bottles called, like the little ones. Yeah, and a couple of ones here. Sorry if I'm making you sick walking you around. I just wanted you to see how cool that glow in the dark is. It's so fun. Okay.
Once you went down the hall, we were not able to hear you. So anything you said back in there.
Did you see it though?
Yes, we saw it beautifully, but
okay.
We were not able to understand what you were saying because your mic is in with your computer setup.
Oh, Of course, that makes perfect sense. What I had another little container in there, which has been in the dark bathroom, so it's not lit up, but I put "don't drink and fly," and then I have these like little fireballs to put in there. My girlfriends and I will get together for a witch's night. So I thought that would be like a little fun gift for them. So if that project is in my profile, so if you follow me in Design Space, you can make that project too. Okay, so my press has changed its temperatures and I'm ready to do a quick, now again, I'm back to the 5 seconds of setting it up. The preheat, sorry, not setting up. So the preheat goes down. And then we're gonna do, I have all these little things all around. Okay, so then we're gonna put this one, I'm gonna put this one up a little bit more because it's a smaller one. So instead of keeping it lined up at the bottom, like where this, I wanted to have that same space there. We'll just put this one up more in the middle like that. Okay, so that's gonna go down and then we're gonna put that on with it. So let's just do the 30 seconds and it still is getting to the right temperature. But I live on the edge. Oh, Mimi's asking, how do I follow you on Design Space? Mimi, I will show you how to do that in Design Space. I'll show you how to do that once we finish making this last one for you. And I haven't posted any pictures yet of these fun things. I thought you guys in the class should be the first. Okay. So here we go here. So now I just am going to take that off and you want to let it cool. I'm so impatient. So I probably shouldn't have done it that long. I wasn't paying 100% attention. There we go. So you do really, when you're working on your own, you really do want to let it cool. I know sometimes I rush it for the classes so it can happen. You guys can see the magic. Okay, now I just line that design back up and the little orange glitter will fill in my glasses. I've got the orange top there and it says witches here. So it's it might be a little bit difficult to read that, but now we're going to do this for 30 seconds. Again at 3:30. Now I didn't reset this, so I'm going to have to manually do it, which is fine because with the Easy Press, you can use the app with the Bluetooth, or you can just change your settings manually. So that's kind of what I like to do. So I'm just going to do another 15 seconds. So I have it for the 30 seconds. Okay. I love wine bags. I can't get enough of them. All right. So we're just going to let that cool off. And while that's cooling in our last couple seconds here, let me come back to my main screen and I'll be sure I pull that off so you guys get to see how cute that one is. Let's go and I'll share my screen with you again. And you can I'll show you how to find me in Design Space. So let's say done. And I'm going to save this project here. So I'll save this as hollow wine drink bag or wine bag, hollow wine bag. So I always save my projects, even if it's one that I'm not, 100% done with or anything. I always save my projects. And then I can always go back into my projects and find a project that I abandoned or whatever, and you can always delete them later. And if you want to share them with the community, you can, and some of the more recently added ones will show up here, great for inspiration, or they may show up if it's trending on social or anything like that. So lots of fun ways to find projects. If you want to find somebody, you can type in their name. So you could just type in Kesley, Kesley, Anderson, and hit enter. And projects that I've shared in Design Space will show up. But if you go to the bottom here, you'll see my profile. And when you click on a profile, you will, you can follow that person. Now, because it's my profile, you can't see how to follow me. So let me grab another person's profile. So if there was a contributing artist that I really loved her stuff, or let's say I wanted to follow this person's projects, I would click on their profile, and then I would just click on the follow. And then when they've added designs, or when they've added projects, I get a little notification up here that Rebecca's added something new, and I get a notification if somebody's followed me. I can look and see what they're making. And if somebody uses one of my projects to make something, you also will get a notification right up here. So it's really fun. And I want to encourage everyone to go ahead and set up your profile. You can, let me just share that again, 1 second. You can change your background image here to an image you want. You can put a project you've done here, or, you know, if you don't want to put your face there, you can put something you've created or something that represents you there. But I think the community is fun, and it's super inspiring to see what people are creating. So I always go there and I look. Okay, so last one I can do. I think I should probably do this overhead again. Let's just go back here. All right, I hope somebody invites me to parties. I'm ready. Here we go. All right, so now that comes off, and it's got the, I left the, oh no. So that comes off and it's got the glitter on it. So it's really fun. And so here's all the 4 different bags we made today. That one, and I have one more. Let's toast. I think she's my favorite. I don't know, they're all my favorites. But there are the 4 bags. All right. And guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We will have another fun class next Mondays. I teach every Monday, unless it's a holiday, but I'd love for you to join us. Check out the replay. There is a survey, so, you know, take a second and fill that out. And I hope you guys learned something. If you make a project, don't forget to hashtag Cricut with Michaels and tag us on it so we can see it. And if you have any questions, you can always find me on any of the social media. Instagram, I'm Kesley.365, and you can find me in Design Space. Hope everyone has a great week. Thanks, guys. Bye.